Have you ever wondered what events must conspire to create one of the world's worst nuclear disasters? Picture this. It's the spring of 1986, the Cold War is in its latter years, and a nuclear power plant in northern Ukraine, then a part of the Soviet Union, is about to become the epicenter of a catastrophic event, forever known as the Chernobyl disaster. On the night of April 26, 1986, a safety test was initiated at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was meant to be routine, a simple test to see how an unexpected power failure might affect the reactor's cooling pump. But, as history would have it, it was anything but routine. A series of operational errors by the plant operators led to an uncontrolled power surge. The reactor's design, flawed from the outset, did little to contain the escalating crisis. The reactor's conditions turned unstable, culminating in a devastating explosion and subsequent fire. This event did not just cause immediate destruction and loss of life. The explosion released a massive amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. An invisible, silent killer, this radioactive cloud was carried by the wind over much of Europe. Its impact varied, dictated by wind patterns and distance, but its presence was undeniable. The areas most heavily affected were Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Russia. Here, the widespread radioactive contamination forced the evacuation and resettlement of hundreds of thousands of people. The long-term health effects are still being studied today, nearly 4 decades later, with the disaster estimated to have caused thousands of deaths from cancer. Even eastern parts of Turkey, though geographically distant, were not spared. Low concentrations of radioactive clouds reached these areas. However, studies by Turkish health ministries haven't found a significant increase in cancer rates definitively linked to Chernobyl. Countries in Central and Eastern Europe also received some radioactive fallout, but the levels were generally much lower than in Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. To sum up, the Chernobyl disaster was a catastrophic event, resulting from a flawed reactor design and operational mistakes during a safety test. The explosion and fire released a massive amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere, which spread over much of Europe. The most heavily affected areas were Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Russia, where widespread radioactive contamination forced the evacuation and resettlement of hundreds of thousands of people. The disaster is estimated to have caused thousands of deaths from cancer. The effects of the radioactive fallout were also felt, albeit to a lesser degree, in other parts of Europe, including Turkey and Central and Eastern European countries. Such a disaster serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers associated with nuclear power when safety is compromised. As we continue to harness the power of the atom for our energy needs, the lessons from Chernobyl remain ever relevant, echoing the need for stringent safety measures and responsible operational practices. For the echoes of Chernobyl are not merely historical, they reverberate in the present, a chilling reminder of the potential cost of nuclear power gone awry.